A personal health battle. She's been diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder.
As you know, I've always been an open book, and I wasn't ready to say anything before, but I'm ready now.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Destynie and I'm a licensed speech language pathologist, which is also known as an SLP. About 6 months ago, Celine posted a video to her Instagram where she came out saying that she was diagnosed with something called stiff person syndrome. She mentioned that stiff person syndrome affects her entire body, but more specifically, and honestly more heartbreakingly, it's affecting her voice. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how stiff person syndrome can affect someone's voice. First, let's briefly go over what stiff person syndrome is. I'm going to read directly from the Johns Hopkins Medicine's website. Stiff person syndrome is a rare autoimmune neurological disorder that most commonly causes muscle stiffness and painful spasms that come and go and can worsen over time. Stiff person syndrome most commonly develops in people ages 40 to 50, but in rare cases it occurs in children. SPS is thought to affect 1 to 2 people in a million, so it's incredibly rare. There are a slew of symptoms that are associated with SPS, and they include muscle stiffness, muscle tightness, spasms, unsteady gait, difficulty breathing, especially if it affects the muscles in the chest or the trunk. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the breathing later as it relates to speech. It can also cause anxiety, and sometimes you might notice a change in the curvature of the back. Now, as a speech therapist, I thought about how this could affect Celine Dion's voice specifically, and I came up with 3 main ways that this could impact her. And we're going to go over each of those. Before we get into that, I just want to warn anyone who gets a little skeeved out by body parts. We are going to be looking at scoped images and videos of the vocal cords. And the way that the vocal cords look, I'm going to be honest, can be unsettling for some people. So I just wanted to give that warning before the image appears on the screen. So if you don't like that, please, I'm not offended. You can swipe away from this video. The first way that SPS could possibly affect Celine's voice is through affecting her breathing. I hinted to this in the beginning of this video, and I also talked about this in other videos that I've made on voice disorders. Breath support is incredibly important for a good vocal quality. Everything in the speech system is connected. It all starts with breathing. You take a nice deep breath. As you exhale that air, it goes up through the vocal tract, and that includes the voice box, through whatever articulators are blocking in order to create sounds and out of the mouth. If stiff person syndrome causes muscle spasms throughout the body, and especially in the chest, then that might impact the way that someone is breathing, and then in turn would impact the way that someone is speaking. Now, in Celine's case, if something is happening to her chest, her trunk overall, that's impeding her ability to take nice long breaths, then of course her voice is going to be impacted by that. For the next 2 ways, we're going to be looking at actual videos of the vocal cords. Now, it's important to first see a normal voice and normal vocal cords before we look at the dysfunction. So let's take a look at a normal female voice. In order to get this video, they take a scope and kind of go up the person's nasal cavity, and then they're looking down at the vocal cords from up above. The 2 vocal cords kind of make this V shape when they're at rest, like when the person is just breathing air through the voice box. And then as they speak, they slam together and they kind of vibrate, and that's what makes the voice. There are a bunch of different cartilages that kind of make up the shape of the voice box, and then there are muscles that work together to kind of move the cartilages and bring the vocal cords together and apart. What I want you to really pay attention to here is that when the person is voicing, the vocal cords are slamming together. When she's breathing, they open up. Now let's talk about the second way in which Celine's voice can be impacted by stiff person syndrome. Something that could happen is something called a laryngospasm or a laryngospasm. This occurs when muscles around the voice box or in the voice box experience spasms uncontrollably. Let's take a look at a video that shows a laryngospasm. Ugh. Every time I watch it, I kind of cringe because it's so hard to watch. You can just imagine what that person is going through. Every time he tries to breathe, the vocal cords close, like slam shut. This is not supposed to happen. It's actually the opposite of what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to stay open when you're breathing and close when you're speaking. This is something that could come from a stiff person syndrome diagnosis, and that's what makes it incredibly dangerous. If Celine is experiencing this, first of all, I'm just heartbroken to know that this is her story. But secondly, this would absolutely impact her ability to sing on the scale that she's used to singing. Now, the third way that this could be impacting her is through adding tension to the muscles around the vocal cord and in the voice box. This is something called muscle tension dysphonia. Let's take a look at that video. In this video, it's actually pretty special because this woman is a singer. You can see that when she's trying to sing and as it gets more intense, the muscles around the voice box really close in and squeeze. And you can even hear at the end that her voice totally gives out. I'm sure this is not only frustrating, but it can also be incredibly painful. This is all speculation, of course. We don't know exactly what's going on with Celine, but I thought it would be helpful to give a speech therapist perspective because she is well known for her voice. And as one of her fans, it's really hard for me to know that she may never be able to sing the way that she did for so many years. As always, please like this video, leave a comment. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Were the videos of the voice box helpful or disturbing? Let me know. I'm always a little weary when showing the vocal cords because I remember when I was in grad school and I saw them for the first time, it was a little creepy. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought about that. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.